Don't blink, it's your boy Ing. Very, very exciting video we're making right now. It is why Five Finger Death Punch, or remembering Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know. I'm gonna have to choose what I post. Right? This is gonna be part of the Creating Ing Vendetta series. And this is a really big part of who I was. I feel like emotional just talking about it, and it's crazy how life is because Five Finger Death Punch, if I'm being honest, fell off the map for me. I was a huge fan. Then I'm gonna say why I wasn't a fan anymore. And then I rediscovered this band lately, out of boredom, and I just fall in love once again. So we're going back. We're going way back to 2011. So 13 years ago, my friends. 13 years is a shit ton of a time. I have this best friend named Carl. Still a really good friend. Still love you deeply. I fucking love you, Carl. You're not gonna watch this because Carl's French, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Carl was one of the very first friends with whom I hung out. Yeah, you know what sucks? I was so, I was so sheltered. I was so wanting to be alone that the first time I actually chilled with someone, it was we were old enough for him to have a car. We went to get to a restaurant that was serving poutine, and the only reason we went to the restaurant, um, was because there was a show filmed there. We bought a poutine, and that cost $22, and that was fucking expensive, dude. Fucking expensive because this was again 13 years ago. But it's okay. It was the experience. And then we went there, and we got stuck in traffic. And the guy, Carl, he put a CD, and it was Five Finger Death Punch. And I remember being in the car, and the Carl was a really good guy, but Carl also brought a childhood friend, and the childhood friend I didn't know. So they were talking about stories and people they knew, right? That I didn't know, and I was like, holy shit, dude! Like, I was feeling a bit left out, but then again, they've been friends for years, so like, you know what? This is cool. I get to hang out. We get to listen to music, and I really focused on Five Finger Death Punch. And the cool thing is, when I first started listening to Five Finger Death Punch, I was old enough to understand English because I'm French. Long story short, timing was of the essence. I had listened to too much Linkin Park to care anymore. I had listened to too much Hollywood Undead to care anymore, and I was looking for new bands. So this was in between, and my obsession lasted in between my Hollywood Undead days in my Falling in Reverse day. And it's crazy because, oh man, this is such a cool video I'm making. This is such an exciting video I'm making. Such a wonderful, wonderful, fuck. I honestly, fuck. Like, I was old enough to understand, right? And I was obsessed with them. My issue with Five Finger Death Punch, no, wait a sec. So they got me with song like they were a rock band, and I was listening to Linkin Park again. It was a rock band, and I really enjoyed the rock. So I was listening to a song like The Bleeding. It's never enough. No, never enough. Um, I remember everything. Battleborn, The Pride. This is my time to shine. I got the stuff to prove it. Only the sun survived. I will not be forgotten. Bro, amazing. I was listening to. Trying to remember, there's so many of them. Bad Company. Under and over it. You can be me and I will be you. You can live just like a star. I'll take my sanity. You keep the fame. I'm under and over it all. I had Generation Dead. I had it's crazy because I was listening to it the whole week, and I can't remember shit now because it's 2 a.m. in the morning and I'm kind of tipsy. Whoops, sorry, ma. So yeah, so there was all of these amazing songs, and everybody's hurt, everybody bleeds, everybody's song is on their knees. I'm not afraid. This could have been much worse, but it should have been better. I know I hurt you, deserted you. Now I see it clear. I told you closer, tighter, before you disappear. How can I forget to walk away? Just walk away. Please release me from this hell. It's funny because we had an amazing artist. That was Chester. That was Mike. Chester Bennington, Mike Shinoda. That we had amazing music with again like Hollywood Undead. We're talking about Johnny Three Tears. We're talking about Deuce. We're talking about Danny. We're talking about Charlie Scene. And Charlie Scene. Everywhere I go, bitches always know that Charlie Sheen has got a weenie daddy love to show. Wake up, grab beer, shape beer, put on some sing here, gonna get drunk for my mom, wake up, break up with some my girlfriend so I can bang sluts. Did I just swore? Sorry, mom. And I was in a mood where this was the kind of music I was fucking digging it. Five Finger Punch came to me in the form of this beautiful, beautiful melody. Beautiful thing I could. It's kind of crazy. My story with If I Could Hit Punch, there's nothing like it. There's not a band out there like it. If I Could Hit Punch isn't my favorite band, but it's a band that's so close to me. So you see, you and I'm gonna talk a lot of shit in this video. So be warned that I'm talking a lot of shit, right? When I was listening to Linkin Park, it was a anger of not being able to do anything. It was a rebellion. When I was listening to Hollywood Undead, it was just funny and it was sad. But when I was listening to Five Finger Dead Punch, Falling in Reverse, it's funny because those were not emotion that I had. I felt alone, so song like I'm on the wrong side of heaven, in the brightest side of no, I'm on the wrong side of heaven, and the brighter side of hell. And it seemed confusing, and I'm sorry for this. So yeah, so this song, I wasn't old enough to understand what they mean, but chorus like, I'm no hero, but I'm not made of stone. This is the right or wrong. I can hardly tell this. I'm on the wrong side of heaven and the darker side of hell. And songs like these, I kind of associate with. The real reason because I love them was because it was rock, because of Ivan Moody, because Ivan Moody has such a nice voice. It was some lyrics that I could kind of relate to, but not really understand. And then there was the Cataclysm. So I started listening to them deeply. I was, I want to say 19, 18, till my 22. At 22, you guys know what happened. My girlfriend broke. The love of my life broke. My very first girlfriend. Had my first going out with friends at 18, my first real girlfriend, first love at 22. Yeah, late bloomer. And I was still listening to Five Finger Death Punch, and this is when I really, really started hating. I'm sorry, but I hated Five Finger Death Punch. And the reason for that is quite simple. I'm not a musician, and Five Finger Death Punch has this habit of putting guitar riff. Sorry, I'm thinking in French today. They have this habit of putting guitar riff in every single song. So I was like, these lyrics, I'm truly, truly like in pain, and this is not helping me. And those riffs are not helping me. And I went to Falling in Reverse, because Falling in Reverse was more about love. It was a guy, Ronnie Radke, who mostly sings about love. He mostly sing as it's kind of crazy. I'm not talking shit. I love Ronnie. I love Ivan Moody, but they're very different singer. So Ronnie Radke as a singer, you could say that he has problem with finding love. His song, most of the song about love with a girl, love with his wife, love with the people. Because again, as a kid, his mother left him. Right. Even Moody is talking as a guy with purpose, a guy who feels like he wants to do the right thing but cannot really get it. He feels like this guy who has the power to change things, but it isn't changing thing. Feels like this guy who's been villainized when he's trying the right thing, you know? He even feels like, for example, in The Bleeding or in Walk Away, he talks about this girl who's leaving him. and standing there. He's saying, willing, says, he's standing there and he says, "I'm willing to fight," and you're just leaving. There's not a song like this where you see even Moody as this really person, but as a sad guy. I chose Falling in Reverse because I just got out of a breakup, and I was like, Ronnie has a beautiful voice. Ronnie can rhyme. Ronnie has the quality of a singer, and I followed Falling in Reverse for 5 years, and then I fell out of love with Five Finger Punch, and although I fell out of love, the the when I'm saying I didn't understand quite literally, it's not completely true. So in the like before that, I lost my job listening to music, and I wasn't really socially intelligent. I was socially awkward. I was socially fucking dumbass. Um, there was lyrics that I understood. I thought I was doing right, but I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was doing the right thing, but I was doing what I thought was the right thing, right? One of my core questions is what's right, what's evil, what's wrong, because again, you don't really know what's right until you see the result. You can help a person cross the road, and then you realize that the second after they crossed another road and they died because they got hit by a car. You realize that if you didn't help them, they would have not been there at this time. But then you realize that the odds of this happening are next to none. So of course you're gonna help, or you're gonna help. Let's take a better example. You're helping this old person cross the street because they're too old. Then you realize that this is shameful for them. You realize that every single day they go out to have a little exercise, to have a little bit of fresh air, and you ruin that trying to do good, but you didn't do good, right? You know the circumstances or the context, and even Moody is someone that taught me that a lot. Even Moody with songs again, like Battleborn, um, I met a million. I cannot sing it, but again, Five Minute Punch is such an amazing band, and they go through song. And Five Forget Punch is just one band that you cannot really figure out. They got this song like "Remember Everything," where we're talking about Soldier. They had this song where I could never be what you want me to. You put me under just to face yourself. We could never be. Never enough, under and over it. So he goes from talking about fame, he goes to talking about Generation Dead, where he's talking about other people, he's talking about never enough, and the fear of never enough and the fear of not being enough. It goes to Walk Away, which is a song about his girlfriend leaving him. And these are all small things. And you realize that even Moody is such a complete artist and he's such a brilliant lyricist. Now, I'm not saying, and please listen, I'm not saying that even Moody is the only good music player or music artist. If I were that punch, the reality is I'm not a musician. I don't know guitar. I can appreciate a nice guitar riff, but if a song sounds like shit, doesn't I don't care how good the beat is. If a song sounds like shit, sounds like shit. One of the first songs that I really enjoyed the beat was Faded from Alan Walker. If our life, this memory, why are you my remedy? And you're like, no, that's Fox and that's Red and that's Clarity. And you're right. And then they did another remix where you didn't have her voice. And I was like, no, this is not cool. So even Moody is this guy who I really relate to more than any other artist. So if you look at again, I'm gonna have to repeat with Ronnie Blackie. When I was breaking up, I could relate to him. Could relate to him feeling unloved, But even Moody with song again, like the one I told, there's so many subject being visited, and a lot of them are thing that I understand, are thing that I go through. Is the sheer discography, is the sheer non-focus of their song. There's a lot of artists they're gonna they're gonna talk about a lot of similar stuff, or they're gonna follow the same subject. For example, you look at the guy who always talks about money and bitches, right? And money and bitches are a lot of his content, or her content, maybe. And then you realize, like, nah, bro, it's not my shit. But then you realize that there's another artist who is actually, like, really, really going what I love about Even Moody, what I love about Fingertip Punches, they're talking about different things. They're talking about things that are coming from your life. As a guy who's really questioning himself, I relate to Even Moody because I feel like he's asking the same question to himself. Not the same question, but he's asking himself question. As a guy who overthinks, I feel like these are very lyrics that are very because again, I know that if I'm going through something, there's a song for it. It's quite reassuring. The guitar riff, as a adult, as somebody who's older, more mature, I can appreciate them. They're a break. This is emotion, 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 emotion thrown at you, and then you have your guitar riff, and you like just enjoy it, play with it. You don't like overly played music. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. Just enjoy the moment, and that's what the guitar riffs are made for. My issue that I had with Five Did Punch wasn't because they were not good, because they were overplayed. I overplayed them. That was my mistake. And again, what I would do, and I feel so bad about it, is I would replay them. I listened to them for a solid 3 years. The last year, what I did was I was so sick of the guitar riff, I would skip those. So what I would do is I would listen to a song on repeat, and that song on repeat was played until the guitar riffed. And when it was the guitar riffed, I would put the song back. So you would listen to the same first 2 minutes of every single song. So you can assume that quite quickly you got tired of the song. Then you're not gonna go back and say, hey, you should listen to the whole song because you already know the first part by heart. And yeah, this is why I love Fire Get Punch. As a artist, as a musician, as a band who true and true pull through with a lot of, I'm not repeating myself, but the number subject, it's just there's something for a lot of people, And I'm not American, so I don't realize the reality of being American. I'm not a soldier, so I don't realize the thing for being soldier, the reality of being a soldier. But I know Five That Punch are really pushing through for the troops, and that you have to respect that. You have to admire that. Even they came out with a song which was like Golden Eyed. There's so much fucking. I just wanna be. Bro, whoa, we. Even the video clip, they're doing some really funny shit. Like, for example, if you look at Under and Over It, which was my favorite song, there was a time, I swear to God, I had this guy, right, and I had this friend who was really he was really a fan of A Day to Remember, and I was like, yeah, they're good, but I prefer, Falling Universe, I cannot say that, Firefighter Death Punch, right, and then, he was like, how much do you like him? And I was like, I know them enough by heart. He says, no, you don't. And I was like, yo, listen to this song. And I present to him Under and Over It. And even without the earbud, even without the music, I knew every single tempo. If I fall, I will. If I fall, fuck you all. Oh, there's so many good songs. And again, you can look at them and say, yo, their prime day or the biggest day or the biggest concert or the biggest venue of Five Finger Punch are over and out. But it doesn't matter because you realize as you grow up that those bands that you grew up with, you form an attachment. You listen to your parents' music, and I'm one of those guys. My father was a fan of AC/DC and Kiss, and although I don't think Kiss or AC/DC sucks, I was like, dude, get over it. It's been 30 years old. It's been 30 years. And now I realize I'm 30 years old, and I listen to the same band that I did when I was 20, 21. And the reason for that is because I belong with them. I belong in this era. I feel like my time to discover shit has passed. It's time to act. But it's not a perspective. It's what society pressure you. How many times a week do I hear you're 35, you're 30 and you're not married, you don't have kids. And it's always a perception of what you have to do, but it doesn't matter because I grew up with a band. That's why I love them. Because at the end of the day, if you grow up with someone and you don't like them, you already separate your way. If you grew up with something, it's because deep down you love it. Deep down. If you grew up living in the same city, it's because you never wanted to get out. And the reason you never wanted to get out might be laziness. It might be a sense of security. Who knows? Know that I love you, that you matter. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.